Hey there everyone, continuing on from the master maps, which if you look down in the description there'll be links to those videos there. I wasn't sure if I was going to do any more master maps. I asked my friends and it was requested that I did the Sommar Castle map with Wizard and Knight. So a Knight equivalent to my Wizard that I have in game. So I've created a Knight that was almost identical build to the Wizard, except being water and nature rather than fire and nature. And I'm going to show that. So anyway, I will show the Knight first, before the Wizard one. Now, if you thought that the other videos were laggy, these are way worse. For some reason, the lag's just getting far worse, and unfortunately I was really pressed for time. I do hope to redo all these videos when the master maps next come out. It always seems that the last weekend there's just super lag going on. So anyway, if you don't like watching laggy gameplay, do not watch this video. You'll be in so much pain. So anyway, I had a bit of a hard time because of that. But anyway, so this is with the Knight, and I show the build at the end. I forget to show skill points, but basically I have 99 on a few things, including angelic form. So that's got 10-second duration, which is really helpful. So basically what you do is you manage those defenses. You can see I've done the move speed buff now. I'm just running through the whole thing, because you can go almost invincible, invincible practically the whole time. Basically you put the spikes buff on, you then just spam the Shield of Light, or Shield of Frost, either one, and Protector as you go running through. Now when there's a 3-second window when Protector isn't on, that's when you're not indestructible. However, all the other time, you're indestructible. So you can run through whatever. Now I'm clearing out these enemies just because I didn't want them to follow me into where the boss room was. I wanted to show a very safe run, and so I'm clearing out all the enemies from here on up to the boss, just to get that going. Now Enrage gets the damage, gives you the damage output to take everything down. The main thing is you've got to keep spamming Shield of Light, Shield of Frost, whichever one you have. I have Shield of Frost in this one, and Protector. As long as you keep spamming those two, you practically can't die. Just watch out for the 3-second window when you can take damage. Now it gets a little bit more complicated when you get to the boss, and that kind of just trying to do more. I'm using autoplay a lot to do the damage here, because it's pretty good at doing it, for one thing. But also because, with all this lag, I'm having a really hard time trying to manage the defense skills and do damage skills too. So autoplay just kind of helps get past that a little bit. Normally I wouldn't use autoplay, just maybe on the boss, because it could get the skills off that bit faster. So as you can see, I can take a lot of damage if I don't actually have the defense skills on. That was, I think, with the spikes buff on, and those two things hitting me, they did a lot of damage. But anyway, so just to explain the defenses here actually before I go into the fight. So spikes basically just reduces all damage you take by 60%. Then what you've got is, so I'm using the Lion's Glory gloves, which will trigger sometimes on my basic attacks, and that gives me 50% damage reduction for 5 seconds. Also I've got the Aegis of Cementalota, which gives me an aura around me for 5 seconds that gives me 50% damage reduction. So all those things stack, the things that I'm going to say. The Shield of Frost, at the end of the shield, so it gives a sort of a health shield for a short time. When that bursts, I immediately get 40% damage reduction for 5 seconds. Protector, I've got that up a little bit, it gives 65% damage reduction. And then Angelic Form gives 90% damage reduction. Now all those things will stack, and basically any combination of the two gives you over 100%. So any combination of all those different things makes you fully indestructible. And then if you don't have them on, you still have the spikes buff, as well as, maybe you'll have one thing on. So basically you can't die except for one move that the boss does, which is creates this area around the boss, it's got lingering hits. It, does loads of different hits on you. And basically, if I stay stood in that, if that's what's going on now. So I'm gonna turn off autoplay, run outside it. Obviously, when you're indestructible, it doesn't do anything. But if there's just one damage reduction on, and so it can do some damage, it does kill you off pretty quickly. So anyway, I don't play the best I could have in this. I'm a little bit too hesitant. But basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at my different skills, mainly on the tab 1, which is the one I have open right now. And I'm manually doing the shield and protector. And then I'm going to buff with Enrage and do the attacking. And what I'm waiting for, which I don't necessarily need to wait for, because actually I can tank everything the boss does except for that one attack. What I'm waiting for is when Angelic Form's kind of there, as well as Enrage, and then I can go in and do autoplay. And basically for 10 seconds, I know I'm going to guarantee that I have 2 defense buffs on, so I'm literally completely indestructible for 10 seconds or so. Yeah, because it's pretty much guaranteed when you have autoplay on and you've got those different skills, that yeah, you're going to be indestructible. Now I do a couple of bad points where I don't think I've messed up yet, or maybe there was one, but basically I use Enrage stupidly at one point when I didn't actually want to go in there. I think it's actually at this point here. Oh no, it's fine. And there's also one point where I go in and I probably shouldn't have attacked. Yeah, like I use Enrage here, and then I sort of attack a little bit. Probably shouldn't have done that because my Protector's about to end and I don't have Angelic Form. But thankfully he didn't do any damaging attacks, so I could just go straight into autoplay. And yeah, as you can see, like, you know, I'm taking down the boss perfectly fine. I'm not really dying. There's no threat of death. And certainly if you get good at managing those defenses and knowing when it's safe to go in and attack and stuff, like, you have no problem. Knights can do all the master maps so easily, way better than the other 2 classes. The only thing is you've got to have that damage output, which Enrage gives you some good damage output, because it buffs your damage hugely, as well as giving you that auto crit, which just, you know, helps out a little bit. Even if your crit damage isn't like helping you out, it's still 1.5 times damage. So yeah, as long as you've got the damage output and everything, then Knights are perfectly fine. And having elemental damage really helps with that damage output. So that's this with a Knight, and I'm just showing the build here, 400% on the Water and Nature. The skills, there's like 99 in Spikes, 99 in Rage, 99 in Angelic Form, and then a little bit more than 10 in Protector. That's the build there. And then I'm showing the rings and stuff. So now we're going to move on to the Wizard one, the Wizard run. Wizard takes a bit longer, and I'm going to show, I've got 2 clips of the Wizard one. If I have time at the end, I may show the other one a little bit, because this is actually laggier, but it's a lot smoother. So we'll go through this one. So at the beginning, I'm going to run past a lot, similar to Knight, but I'm actually going to I polymorph those guys because that stops them from kind of coming after me so easily. I also make sure you have Fiery Orb on before those range guys as you run past them, because they're going to hit you. And then what I'll do is I'll get to this point here. So I put a Drake down, so I get those guys attacking, and I can then slip past and polymorph them. Then all the people come in behind. I actually didn't quite polymorph the Warlord. Anyway, basically you teleport past. Everything gets a bit messy because the lag is just absolutely killing me at this point. But anyway, basically you can get the Fiery Aura on and go in with another polymorph and stuff, and it's okay. I had to run over to the left, sadly, and set off the guy who creates a load of minion things. But anyway, as you can see, basically I'm jumping from one side to another and slowing them down with Drakes, which gives me enough time to get the cooldowns on my skills going. Took down Shrine Impaler there. Luckily he kind of got singled out, which was nice. I could Meteor Strike him. And now, as you can see, like, you know, they're pretty much all down now. Just clearing out. So that was pretty chaotic, and I wouldn't recommend, if you're not comfortable with Wizard, you know, that was obviously some pretty high skill level stuff. It was, I will admit, it took me probably about 20 tries to do that, and I would say that I could comfortably do it if there wasn't all this lag. But the lag is just absolutely ridiculous. Like there, okay, I used a potion there because, I knew that I had time to use the skills and get out. However, the skill didn't trigger properly, and that just took ages that I got delayed, and I'm so lucky I didn't die at that point. I don't know how I didn't. But yeah, the lag was just ridiculous to try and do this. Like, I think my recorders, my screen recorder's recording at 30 frames per second, so it may even look slightly laggier than it is, but believe me, whatever you're seeing was what I was seeing at the time, and it's very, very hard to react to stuff. So anyway, as you can see, buffing up with everything, so I can take down this guy who's going to summon things very quickly. I polymorphed him, Meteor Striked him, Flame Breath, and then he went down, no trouble there, because that guy can be pretty annoying when he creates all the different things, and then I'm just drawing these guys out. Now, the way to do it is like backpedaling, where you walk back a bit, you put a Drake down in front, you walk back a bit, And by doing that, it means that you can bring enemies within range of your flame breath and your polymorph without actually having a risk of getting hit, because there's always a drake between you. You just stand just the other side of the drake. So that's kind of the general technique which you can use on things, and as long as they're on one side, that works really well. And then what I was doing at the bottom of the stairs with all those enemies, where there were loads, is I was doing exactly that, but I was having to teleport to the other side of them. And yeah, that's a way of kind of controlling them more. It would have looked a lot smoother if I didn't have all this lag, and you would have been able to really see me doing it. The reason why I've still got the other clip where it wasn't so smooth, I died off. Yeah, I died basically. Was because actually there's less lag in that, so I might show that at the end of some of what I was actually doing with the movement. Right. So anyway, pulling the boss out of the boss area. Didn't have to do this for Knight, because Knights are just, you know, overpowered. But yeah, the boss spawns extra enemies throughout the fight when his health goes down a bit. This boss just has so much health; it's really annoying. So anyway, I put him out of the boss area, and that's why I cleared out this lower section. Otherwise, I would have run up the stairs. And yeah, you can see I swapped Flame Breath for Flame Cannon, so I can do a bit more damage to the boss. And now I'm going to do exactly what I did to all those enemies before to the boss. And there should be no trouble at all, because the boss can be distracted by the drakes. He kills them very quickly, but I can stay out of range of all the range attacks he's got, all the area of effect attacks, and just teleport to the other side when needed. So that's pretty much going to be the rest of this video. I'm not sure if rest of this clip. I'm not sure if I'll bother showing all of it, to be honest. We'll just watch for a little bit so you can see. Maybe I'll skip ahead to the end in a second. Oh, yep. I was going to jump to the other side there, but then he decided to do that attack. So I thought I may as well just run way off to the side, get out of his way, and then yeah, put down a drake before I teleport just to ensure everything. And you can see I ran in there to do a polymorph. Now just spamming off the skills. Put down another drake for good measure. Backpedal a little bit more. Yep, he's doing a big range attack, so let's put a drake down there. Managing all these different skills, I can do a lot better than I do on Knight. I know the animation times, so even with the lag, I can kind of time them to go after each other. I was really struggling with that on Knight because I don't know the animation lengths of everything. And with the lag, it was really hard to like time one after another. But anyway, actually I didn't need to skip ahead to the end, because he's been taken down fairly promptly. So as you can see, that was a run with Wizard. This is almost identical to my actual Wizard in the game, so that's how I would do it. I boosted the damage from my previous video, so it has damage equivalent to what I have in game as well, because it was like about 10% less. Anyway, so it wasn't the smoothest, clearly, but I put that mostly down to lag. I had a couple of near-death moments, which I think I would have been able to avoid if I had, hadn't had that lag. So I'm just going to check the time here. We have 1.5 minutes, so I'm just going to quickly show this other clip, a little bit from this other clip. We'll skip over the first minute because I die off. Right, so actually, is this bit good? Right, yeah, okay. So that's all right there. So you can see what I'll do here. I think this polymorph actually fails. Yeah, it does. Oh no, it gets them. So anyway, do you see I put a drake behind me? I then am able to teleport the other side. I put another drake down. They're distracted for a second. I run over to the side, do a quick loop round, and I went like beneath them rather than trying to teleport over them. I went made sure I went around them, just to ensure that like I didn't get hit at that point. And yeah, you can just see me circling the enemies. That's how I do it. I think I'm probably going to wrap up the video at this point here. I'll just show where I'm bringing the boss down, because actually I do that pretty nicely. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted here trying to do it. Yes, so anyway, going to wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoyed watching these master maps. I'm going to try and do them again another time when I don't have so much lag. But it hopefully gives you some ideas of how you can really tackle this super tough PvE stuff. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon.